booth here at Podcast Movement that I've been calling it post-podcast movement for months. And only today did I learn it was wrong that I was saying that. We led today with our panel at 10:15 a.m. that was all about video creators and video podcasting and what you need to know. And that's where I met Mr. Charles Shaw. How you doing?
Doing well. Pleasure. Thank you for having me.
I'm so happy you're here. You came back. And I know you came back because you're looking to speak more in public.
Right,
you're looking
right.
to do more speaking engagements. Tell me about it. What do you do now?
Well, right now, I just retired in the last year from
Congratulations.
federal government.
Wow.
And I'm proud of that. But
Yeah.
I don't want to just stay stagnant. I want to get into different arenas. And I recently joined the National Speakers Association
Cool.
in Orlando, Florida. And I felt that if I come to the show, I want to meet speakers like you.
Oh.
You inspire me just by how you delivered your
Thank
message.
you.
Well, handled the panel and delivered your message
Thank
today.
you so much. So I know you were like, let's do a brain picking session. What are kind of some of the questions you have, or where can I be of like most help? I don't know.
Well, first off, I'm curious, and how did you get into doing this
Sure.
panel speaking?
Yes.
What is your training,
Yeah.
and where you plan on going with your experience?
Great questions. I would say Haley and I were actually, my co-founder Haley and I were talking about it this morning because I've never had any training. All I do is I love talking to people.
Okay.
And I love educating. And I think you need to be passionate about what you're talking about, first of all, because you can like learn whatever you want by like reading all the books and doing it. And like, maybe it's working for the federal government. You love it, you know.
Right.
But if it's not a job you love, you're not going to enjoy talking about it. It's not going to be infectious. It's not going to be something that people are going to want to gravitate towards you about.
That's true.
Yeah.
True.
And so for me, you know, I just came off of doing a talk with one of my favorite directors, Catherine Hardwick, who did Lords of Dogtown and 13, and that was at the American Cinematheque. And now that was 2 days ago, and now we're here, you know, talking about video podcasting. And I think for me, it really is just like stay as passionate as you can. Like, only speak about the stuff you're really passionate about, because otherwise people are going to know immediately that you're not.
Oh, yes.
And as for like training, I think because I've been doing podcasting for so long, I love educating. I end up doing a lot of guest lectures. So I was at Cornell doing a speech there for 2 days, doing like classes and then like speech stuff with them. And then I've been doing multiple like universities, and I come to a lot of like trade shows and end up being put on panels. I think I'm just like transparent. I'm pretty vulnerable with people.
Right.
And I think that's also important because we can connect to our audience. Like you and I connected because I was just kind of like, yep, the audio's down, everyone listen, you know, or like it's really pulling back the curtain on the knowledge that a lot of people are gatekeeping around a subject.
Oh,
so
yes.
like people are like, oh, my workflow, it's this and this. And it's like, okay, but is that accessible to every person in the audience? Like, what are the actual tools? What does DAWs mean? You know, like, because we're at a podcast convention.
Right.
But I really think it's like the education and experience that you have combined with the passion to speak, as well as wanting to meet people, right?
Yes.
I think that's kind of like
You have to be open to that.
You have to be, because it can't be one of those things where you show up and you're like, yeah, well, no one talked to me after I don't have any time. You like need to be prepared to like
Take
speak.
Q&As.
Yep. And then after you're done, walk off the stage and be prepared for an hour of conversation with different people, which are going to come to you about anything.
I think I got in touch with you on the second step.
Yes.
I didn't even let you get off this.
I love it. And that's what I love, because it means like hopefully what you've said, someone, even if someone's able to, the way I work, I love being able to give someone in a 30 an hour minute talk at least one piece of information that they can learn more about. So whether that's Frame.io, I mentioned a software during, or whether that's collaboration and finding your voice, or like, do I want to co-host, or am I going to be a single host on my own?
Right.
Like, what is one piece that they can find resources or research around and further their education around the subject, right? Like, you can, yeah, it's like you're saying, it's the fire faucet, the hose coming at you, and you're like, what do I stick with? What do I take? It's hard.
Well, what I've learned here is that there's so much information coming at you.
Oh my
This
God.
is just day one.
Yes.
I've tried to take good notes.
Yeah.
I'm not took good notes,
Yeah.
but I came in, and I think the way that you should handle a convention like
Yeah.
this, come in with the understanding that you're not going to be able to get all the information that
Yeah.
you want, but streamline it
Yes.
to
Yes.
the information that you
Yes.
can take back with you
Yes.
and remember.
I agree 100%. And your other question was like, how did I find speaking engagements
Right.
and stuff? So mine have all been two things. One, I got to know, like, I just organically,
Networking?
yes.
There you go.
I love networking, but I love making real relationships with people.
Yes.
So like Black Magic, like John at Black Magic, we've known each other 2 years and they know what I'm doing. I keep people up to date on what I'm up to, because then if they're like, oh, we're going to a podcast, you guys have a few podcasts. Do you want to come to that? You know?
You said that you're going to share this with me.
Yeah.
Could you tell my audience what Black Magic is all about?
Sure, yeah. So I am the co-founder of Cinematography for Actors that was contracted by Black Magic Design to come here today. Black Magic Design, pretty much workflow solutions. So they manufacture cameras that we're shooting on right now.
Right.
We have 3 cameras set up. Then we also have a switcher here, which allows you to have audio intake and video intake. And then you can obviously switch between the cameras without having to manually operate them. And in addition, they make like stream decks, so storage for your streams that are coming in, as well as Resolve. So like DaVinci Resolve is a free color software for editing that you can download right now. It's entirely free. When you upgrade, obviously that's when, you know, you're going to get like your VFX stuff. But for the majority of us, you're only ever going to need the free version, and it's amazing.
Okay.
So it's workflow solutions, everything from the shooting to the post of workflow. And like, they're a great company and they sponsor us. They work with our podcast studio. We have a few of their cameras, the 2 that are shooting today. But yeah, I would say like the networking, honestly, of just spending time at booths, once again, you're passionate about to learn, keeping people up to date all the time. And then also the way I find speaking engagements is I literally ask people, I go, I'd like to speak at this. How can I do that? Like, you know, in nicer words, but I'd like to be on a panel. Do you have spots for a panel?
Right.
And the majority of people who are organizing festivals and conventions they need to fill that gap or fill that void with speakers. So if you can bring something that you're like, I'm really good at talking about this, can we do a panel on fiscal sponsorship?
Right.
Yes, you can, because no one else is doing that. Find your niche, know how to talk about it, and be prepared to talk at length about it for years.
Right.
Yes.
For example,
yeah,
you had to learn Black Magic.
Yeah.
In depth.
Yep.
You had to learn your panel. You had to learn each person's niche.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So it's like with Black Magic, the way I learned about it is not by memorizing it. It's because I've worked with all their products.
Right.
And so I can talk not about everything, but like the expectation is never that you know everything. The expectation, I think, as a speaker or doing speaking engagements is to be the insight into wanting to learn more.
Right.
So even if you're doing a deep dive, you should still be touching on just like a percentage of what people should be walking away with, so that each person is interested in their own aspect of it and can start to pull what they need from your talk that then incites other learning.
So I also noted another thing that you did that was very professional.
Oh.
You made contact with the panel members before they came on stage.
I did. We did a prep call on Friday where we just did like a 30-minute Zoom, and I just said like, who are you? What do I need to know about you? What are you interested in talking about? Because a lot of the stuff on panels that fall flat is when someone they're put on this panel because maybe they're sponsored by the company that's sponsoring the panel, but they don't really know the answers to those questions. Right. And then people are like, why am I here?
You don't want to blindside them.
You don't.
Right.
And so especially the larger they get name-wise, you really need to prep those questions and send them for approval sometimes, especially if they work for corporations. So I did a 30-minute call where I said, here's what I'm going to be talking about. What do you find interesting about that subject? And I had 3 pages of notes from that call where they told me about their background, what I could relate to, and also what they're doing, and then also like what they think might be an interesting thing for people to learn. And then I made those into a shared note, and then I shared it with them.
Right.
And those were the questions that we came with today.
So it made your life easy and made their life even easier.
Yeah, and it's just nice. I mean, anything where you can have people on the same page is just like a good place to be. Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
Oh, yeah.
What else would you like to share with me?
What else should I share?
Honestly,
I think people really don't look at networking as an accessible tool for growing.
Well, why do you think that? What changed in the world that people are afraid to network?
I think
no one here, because we're all
we came with the intention to network. But how do we do
outside.
it? Yeah, how do we do it outside of a specific networking event where it's driven to like meet people? And I think people are afraid of it because they're afraid of the unknown, the uncertainty of what people are going to talk about.
Rejection, maybe?
Totally rejection.
Right.
And I just think networking, when people are told you need to network, is like, give me a break. I'm doing everything already. Why do I have to now go out of my way to find people, you know? Because it's like, yes, we have to learn our job, and then we have to have experience in our job, and then we have to have aspirations outside of the job, and then we have like work-life balance. So how do I have the time? How do I have the energy to meet other people if all I want to do is just this one thing?
Right.
But they don't realize that the answer is you're not looking for something from other people. You're looking for the resources. You're looking to like just kind of come off of each other, of like bounce ideas together or get to know people organically that are passionate about the same things you're passionate about. And networking for the wrong reasons looks like I'm just trying to make a relationship with the richest person in the room.
Well, I think
that's successful, you know.
I think that's where a lot of people make mistakes.
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
You should really be broad in an amount of people that you make contact with.
And you should be looking for people to grow with. I always am.
Relationships go.
That's it. And also, we grow individually in our careers, and you never know like who you might meet now that you don't know how they play in, but later, 5 years later, they're like, hey, I remember meeting you at this thing. My friend is doing this thing. Would you be interested?
Right.
That's what's happened to me a million times over. And so I just think don't come into a perspective of networking as hard or not normal or hard, you know, whatever it is. Come in from the perspective of it's exciting, there's prospects, and have the attitude of being open-minded, because you never know what part of life is going to lead you down what path, and that network, that connection then might be the thing that takes you over the line to like get to speaking engagements or whatever it is you're passionate about.
Well, I hope that our run in, whatever you call this, our meet will blossom into something. Our connection blossom into this.
Yeah.
Because I was very impressed in how you did that. And I want to also ask you, I want to network with the folks here at the podcast and put it on, and how to get on panels. What is your recommendation? I was interested in doing a panel discussion. How do you go about making contacts with folks?
Yeah, so Black Magic organized this and then hired me to do it. But I met this guy, and I'm going to put him on blast, so everyone knows his name, Greg Lilly.
Greg Lilly?
Greg Lilly. He works for the podcast movement, and his whole job is to produce the 167 or 76 panels over the next 3 days.
Cool.
So seeing if I can see him around, he looks like a white surfer dude.
I think he did a couple of panel interviews today.
Yeah. So he's like a white surfer dude. So if I see him, I'll be like, that's him. Because he would be someone to just start that conversation about like, how do I reach out? What does it look like? Is there a cost associated if I want to put it on? You know, things like that. But I think what I would recommend for you, if you haven't already, and that's free, is the brain dates. NPR is putting on these brain dates around tables, and you can publish one yourself and host one during the conference. So if you have any ideas for something you want to talk about, like, you know, for 30 minutes, you go on the Podcast Movement app, you go to Brain Date by NPR, and then you can publish a topic that you want to talk about, and people will sign up and come.
See, I told you, we're all taking this in like a fire hose.
I agree.
There's some things that I know about, and then there's some things that I miss.
Exactly.
You know, they have meetup groups. This is why I like coming to these podcast conventions.
Yeah.
There's meetup groups, there's events, there's panel discussions from experts, subject matter experts.
Yeah.
There's contacts like this here.
Exactly.
Just, you know, happening.
Just the one-on-ones. Yeah.
So, hey, I really appreciate you taking the time out.
Thank you so much, Charlie.
All right.
Sorry, I said Charles at the beginning.
That's fine.
You should have corrected me.
No,
Charlie,
I'm fine with that.
The best name on earth. Thank you so much, and I can't wait to see you with like podcasting conventions in the future for networking and stuff.
That'd be great.
It's gonna be fun. Bye, everyone. We'll see you soon.